why don't we pick out who Drake is going to be stealing his next cultural things from? Because XXL Freshmen, which we talk about every year, is going to be dropping soon. And we did a prediction video 3 months ago, I believe.
I want to say it was December.
It might have been 4 months now. And we made some predictions. Some things have changed. Some things have not changed. Who do you got in your XXL freshman list? I have a couple of names I want to throw out as people that I think deserve to be on it. I think we mentioned them, but then probably people that maybe might not accept it. So, YBN Corday, I think he'll be on it.
Yeah, well, the funny thing is YBN Corday didn't do a pitch video for XXL on their YouTube channel. Mm-hmm. Most other people we'll talk about did, which I thought was kind of interesting because Corday has always been someone who's shown a lot of respect and admiration for rap of the past, something that's not often common with his peers, other rappers his age. Mm-hmm. But yeah, Corday has the Dr. Draco sign. No one else we're going to talk about has that. Corday has songs like Target and Kung Fu, just incredible lyrical displays of just pure technical ability that are also really smart. And he only just busted on the scene last year with the 1985 response to J. Cole, Old Hitters, right? And he doesn't actually have a solo project yet. But despite that, I feel like his star's so big. And that song, Have Mercy, it's only like a few months old. It's another hot song. So yeah, I think Corday is probably the best pure rapper, probably who has if you want to say someone who could probably drop a classic album one day on this list, he's probably that guy if it was to happen. So yeah, I really hope he says yes, just because he could still be a lot bigger. You know, he doesn't have any huge Billboard hits. So I think XXL shining a light on him is a positive thing, and it should happen, even though he doesn't necessarily need his cosign.
It seems like you feel like he's a shoo-in to get it, and the only way he wouldn't is if he didn't want to be on the cover.
Right. And again, I really, it's weird for someone to turn it down who doesn't have a lot of mainstream attention already. Like in the past, like when we talked about the 2018 list, Cardi B was not selected. 2017, you can check our video on youtube.com/NowstalgiaPod. I didn't think Cardi B was ready. I don't think she had the records yet. In between covers, Bodak Yellow comes out, and she becomes this massive megastar. She's a little big for double XL the next time the cover comes around, so she's just not on, just the way it worked. That happened with a lot of people. Drake happened with A$AP Rocky, people like that. But this year, I think that's actually going to happen with Juice WRLD, I think. Lil Baby, Gunna. Artists that were just on the cusp last year, but were just kind of rising as we were having these conversations, so it was just kind of early. Since then, I mean, Lil Baby and Gunna, they sold 100K first week for Drip Harder. And we know how big Juice WRLD is. We reviewed Death Race for Love. And again, these are already guys that are stars. They technically should be the faces of this new class, but they're probably too big and they'll probably say no.
So I had Juice WRLD as someone that I thought would definitely be worthy of it, but also might not say yes. Someone that probably would have been on it, YNW Melly, but I think with the controversy, no way he's making it.
Yeah, they've only ever put someone on the cover who was in jail once before. That was a while ago. It was Chief Keef, and he was like the fan vote choice. But yeah, Melly would have been on because Murder on My Mind was already huge and well liked even before it blew up once he went to jail, right? And I mean, news came out actually today that Florida also has murder on its mind and is seeking the death penalty with Melly. But
crazy,
yeah, they've in the past few years they've kind of separated themselves from anyone with controversy. So like last year, no 6ix9ine, no Famous Dex, no NBA Youngboy. This year, no YNW Melly because he's literally in jail right now. And also, I don't think Sheck West will actually make the cover now. Obviously, when we talked about him in December, like Mo Bamba, Mudboy, Cactus Jack co-sign, all that, Chewin, new star. But the stuff with Justine Skye, allegations of abuse, stuff like that, even if it's just allegations, Double XL picks someone else, and there's always worthy choices. So I think Sheck West and Melly would have been on here if they didn't have their issues.
So, someone I really want to make it is Tierra Whack. First of all, I loved her pitch video. Just her eating chips for a full minute and then saying, done, and walks off. She's amazing. We really enjoyed her album last year and have really also enjoyed her singles. I think her single, what was the name of it?
Only Child?
Yes, is on our playlist. So check that out. But I have a feeling she's going to make it, and Saweetie as well. I think they'll be the two female names on there.
That's the thing. The past few years has been 10 names. I actually have 3 ladies on it this year. And usually there's maybe one. Like last year we had Stefflon Don, 2017 and 2017 we had Kamaya, 2016 we had no ladies. But there's a lot of good options this year.
Who are your 3?
So you mentioned Tier Whack and Saweetie. I think Tier Whack, as you mentioned, I said, Whack World was critically acclaimed last year. She's out of Philly. Meek has given her a big cosign, but also she's really good and she's also really interesting because Whack World was, if you're not familiar, again, it wasn't a huge populist album, but 15 tracks, 15 minutes long, yet still really dense and worthy of repeat listens. Like really impressive for a new rapper, right? And these new singles show that, oh yeah, she also can make good songs that are of normal length. So really exciting. Saweetie, we just reviewed her Icy EP. That was her second EP. Blew up from Icy Girl. Saweetie's just really established now in terms of like mainstream rap, dating Quavo, represents the Bay, yet really kind of, in my opinion, feels like an Atlanta choice these days just because she seems like really mainstream establishment rap right now. But she's just really big and still new enough that really new, honestly. Again, just 2 EPs. So I think she's a good choice. And then my third one, Rico Nasty. Rico Nasty has a shit ton of music out. She has like 4 mixtapes on streaming, 6 total. She's signed to Atlantic. Only 21 years old though. And really cool songs. She works with Kenny Beats a lot. Just fucking banger after banger. I think she's awesome. And she did a pitch video this year, which gave me hope that XXL is actually considering her. So I think she's going to make it. I think has one of the best body of works out of this whole group. And will be kind of a shame to ignore her. So yeah, I really hope all 3 of them got on there because they kind of represent 3 different lanes that happen to be occupied by women. And that's good because there's a lot of women in rap right now. We should actually acknowledge them more than just a token choice every year, you know?
I agree, definitely. And we review a lot of female rap artists on this show. A couple of names. Rich Brian, I feel like, will be on there. I think he'd be a solid choice. I think we mentioned him in the last one.
We did.
So, Blueface. I know you like Blueface. Blueface pretty controversial, maybe is the right word. I don't know. People, controversial about it, but people seem to be very split in terms of their opinion on him. Either people really, really like him or think he's absolute trash.
That's exactly right. Blueface, people that think he sucks, just think he can't rap on beat, ever. And thus think he's just
important part of rapping.
Correct. The thing is, I think some Blueface songs are kind of offbeat. The funny thing is the way he puts it. He's like, I just rap ahead of the beat. I'm too quick. And he's really funny as a personality. And the blow up happened, I think, last fall when he had Famous Crip and Too Cocky, these 2 tapes come out, and Dead Lokes got really big. And Tatiana was on one of those tapes, and it's weird. I didn't think Tatiana would be the hit. Obviously, we know it's 8. It was 8 in the country at its peak. I believe it's the biggest song out of anyone we're talking about. Certified hit, and then hella remixes, Cardi B, YG, etc. Song like Studio comes out, he's kind of singing on that. I think that song's kind of polarizing. I really like it. Some people think it sucks. And Bleed It. But I think Bleed It's the song, though, that you have to look at if you're critiquing Blueface. It's a Cole Bennett video for this. And Bleed It is a really competent rap song. He is on beat. He's using different rhyme schemes that he wasn't using back when Thadia and Dead Lokes came out. And looking at that, looking at the feature he does, or co-song he does with G-Eazy, West Coast, and you can see the blueprint for Blueface being a star in rap. He's already kind of a star right now. He's pretty big, but I think you can clearly see the path that Blueface is going to be a multi-genre hip-hop guy who's not going to just focus on doing one thing. And yes, if the lyrics get a little repetitive, and once in a while he's actually not really using the beat well, I think that's okay, because he's making hit songs and they're different kinds of hits. I kind of find that very exciting. And he's also just a goofy dude. Like he's a former quarterback. Kind of cool. It's like Quavo in that regard.
Quarterback where?
I don't know. He was a really good quarterback. He had college offers. He's from Compton or South Central LA anyway. And yeah, I think Blueface is definitely going to be on here because Whack 100, who's like his manager for Cash Money West, has been playing this perfectly. They've been delaying the singles. He made a song with G-Eazy, so get the white girls. Like, they're playing this really smart. So Blueface is going to be the face of this cover, whether you like it or not.
Well, I think they'll be very exciting to some people and very not exciting to others. Lil Nas X, I mean, most streamed song ever. Is he going to make it on? I mean, damn, that would be crazy because does he even have a real project out right now?
Yeah, that's the thing. So I made my list of 10. I didn't have Lil Nas X on. Lil Nas X is bigger, I guess, than basically everyone else on my list. He has, I think, 2 mixtapes or 1 mixtape, but they're not officially on streaming. He's just started to put some songs on Spotify, and streaming service like legitimized some of those songs. But as far as you can tell, as far as most people are concerned who listen to Old Town Road, which again is most of the music listening public does play, he doesn't have any hip hop songs that you've heard. And I just have a hard time putting Lil Nas X on the cover because Old Town Road isn't rap by any stretch. It is country trap. It's hip hop infused country, but I find it's country music. He just recently was talking about this song he has in the bag with Ryan Tedder that he says, can we get this on the rock chart? So I don't know how interested he is in hip hop. Like Juice WRLD, people are like, oh, Juice WRLD, man, this is emo music. He's not in hip hop. He's using Chief Keef flows on some of these songs. Juice WRLD's still hip hop. Lil Nas X, until he actually releases some like rap songs anyone's heard, I don't know if we should call him a rap artist. Again, that's no shot against him, but I just have a hard time picking him over people like Rico Nasty, who've been grinding for 4 years, making tons of rap.
Mm-hmm. So I'm out of names at this point. I'm going to give myself a pat on the back for knowing this many of these artists this year. Anyone else that you think is definitely going to make it or that we didn't talk about you want to shout out?
Yeah, I got a few more. Got to get to 10 still. I think the biggest one left is Roddy Ricch. Roddy Ricch blew up last year with Feed the Streets 2, his second tape. Every Season was on there, but also Die Young, his now gold single, really blew up when Odell Beckham posted that on the gram. And since then, Roddy Ricch has been rising quick. He has that song Project Dreams with Marshmello.
Yep.
He has the feature, he does the hook on Racks in the Middle, the Nipsey Hussle song, that loose Nipsey song that dropped a few months ago. It has since been the Rap Caviar placement in the RIP Nip times right now. But I think Roddy Ricch, he's only 20 years old. He's also from LA, like Blueface. He kind of represents that singy new standard of sorts that we come to expect from your Futures and your A-Boogies. But he has some legitimate hits already, and like these are like really bubbling big songs. So he's someone I expect to continue to grow. And I mean, the fact that he already has a song with Marshmello, the most radio-friendly, big stream EDM choice you can pick right now, I think kind of says a lot to what the other labels think of him. So I think Roddy Ricch is kind of a shoe-in. Blueface and him are the true faces of this cover, I would say, in terms of just popularity. Obviously, Corday, as we said before, is probably the best pure artist on here. After Roddy Ricch, I think, so we have Blueface, Roddy Ricch, YB and Corday, Tierra Whack, Saweetie, Rico Nasty. That's 6. Maybe Lil Nas X is on there. That's 7. So we still need a few more. I'm going to go with Lil TJ. He's only 18. He's from New York. People pejoratively call him B Boogie because he's another New York artist that sounds like A Boogie because they do the same kind of singy thing.
Okay.
But he's been kind of blowing up with Brothers resumes. He got some few songs. He signed to Columbia. And I think, will he be as big as A Boogie? Probably not, because that's actually a very high bar now. I mean, his album was like the number 1 album in the row the first 3 weeks of January because it was the most streamed album and no one released anything new. Like A Boogie is like legitimately huge. So I don't know if Lil TJ can ever truly take that crown from him in terms of New York, but he's making like music well that is the type of rap that people want right now. So I think he's going to continue to rise. He was just featured on that French Montana song with Blueface that just came out a few days ago. After that, someone who has, I think, even more chart hits, the Baby. He's actually one of the older guys on this choice. He's 27 already. But Baby on Baby, which was his major label debut for Interscope, came out a few months ago. Going Baby, Shug. There's some hits on there, and I think he's one of those guys who has a lot of mixtapes out, and it's like been grinding for a while. So you reward him for breaking through both commercially and in terms of just more popularity. On that same lane, he did a pitch video. It's kind of surprising for me. Boogie, we just reviewed his album, Everybody Dies, a few months ago. Yeah. Boogie's 29. He'll be 30 this year. He's like right on the edge where it's like, I've known about Boogie a long time. Would I still consider him a freshman? Like, he's been signed to Eminem for several years now. Like,
yeah, when I saw him on the pitch videos, I was like, is this the same guy? I thought maybe it was my name, but I don't know, interesting if he does get it, I suppose.
I mean, other than that, I mentioned Little Mosey when we did our video a few months ago. Notice was a big song. He's on Interscope. He's only 17, so if you want to make him wait a little longer, that's fine with me. Again, he's not the most lyrical guy, so it's not like an inspired choice, I guess, you know. But after that, I think Flip De Niro, Leave Me Alone, also got an OBJ co-sign. That song got the 20th. Like, that song was really big. He's also from New York. He's only 23. But he only has, I think, one tape from a few years ago. So if he drops something this year, I mean, they've probably already made selections by now, but I feel like he's kind of just on the cusp in terms of having that really popular song at the right time. Yet he might still be just a little farther off. But I mean, I have a list of a whole other names that are in the conversation. It's funny, all the people we've talked about. This is the first time in several years where no one from Florida is going to make the list. Melly would have kept it going, but he's not on it. So it's funny. We might have 3 women on here. We might have multiple New Yorkers on here. I mean, and no Floridians. It's kind of cool to see all these different places being represented. Other people I'm considering are usually in the mix: Danny Lee, Melly, Megan Thee Stallion. These other women that are really killing it. So they're all in the mix. We mentioned Comethazine because we reviewed his Bosky 2 tape a few months ago. I don't think Comethazine is near good enough or interesting enough to get this kind of look, considering how many options there are.
Yeah.
One of the people who did a pitch video, I don't know if you recognize it, was Partisan Fontaine. He's actually from like right across the river from in Newburgh, but he had his first really big hit song, Backing It Up, recently because it has a Cardi B feature. But he was more well known for being Cardi's longtime friend and writing partner. And like, he hasn't dropped the tape since he got more famous as Cardi got famous. So it's kind of weird to see him do a pitch because I feel like, yes, he's a little older, but you also still haven't really established yourself as a solo artist. And Backing It Up was big because Cardi's verse was fire. So interesting to see. Also, I noticed on the pitch videos, OGZ was on there. He's the frontman, most popular guy from Shoreline Mafia, the West Coast group. And traditionally, XXL has not done groups. Like Quavo never made this. Kevin Abstract never made this. Sway Lee, etc. Like, they don't do duos or groups. It's because of the way they have to shoot the cover. It's like a logistical thing, right? So the fact that OGZ, a guy who doesn't have solo projects, he just has his Shoreline stuff. The fact that they actually let him do a pitch is kind of weird. They might be changing their standards. You mentioned Rich Brian. I would love Rich Brian to be on here just like last year, but he didn't do a pitch. It's weird. I don't know why they're not picking him, because Rich Brian really had a great year last year. You know, both Amen and then the 88 Rising collab. I'm kind of taken aback. I mean, they've actually never picked an Asian artist. Kid Trunks brings this up in his pitch, and I think Kid Trunks, we can kind of leave him there. But Rich Brian is good, really good, and interesting and different. And the fact that you are making history by your own decisions, I don't know. I mean, I have other people, but I think no one else is really truly in the mix. Bad Baby did a video. Like, they're not.
I was wondering about that.
But it's funny. She knows exactly what to talk about. She's like, I have 3 gold singles, and it's true. She does. But does anyone care?
She's the one that was on Dr. Phil, right? And
yes,
propelled that to fame.
Yep. And to her credit, I think Gucci Flops is a hot song. She didn't write it, obviously, but I actually kind of like it. But yeah, she's also really young. You can just tell her to keep waiting. I don't know. I mean,
any last thoughts on XXL?
070 Shake. You mentioned her a few months ago and did our video.
She's not gonna get it.
Nah, I don't. She's really not rap. Anyway.
Yeah. Nah, it's actually funny when you said that she dropped some songs, and the first person I thought of was Zachary, which or Zakari, however you pronounce it. I was like, they're kind of the same to me. Like right now, I need 070 to drop something that distinguishes herself. So
gotcha. I'm with it.